encourage you, if you have free time in the next couple of weeks, just grab any object in your house and put it in front of you and practice drawing whatever you see. I'll just wait one more minute and then I'll show you what we are going to draw today. So, if you have a Q-tip or a little bit of or a piece of a paper towel, you can use that for blending. You can do the entire drawing with just pencil, but if you want to try charcoal, you can do, we'll start the outline with the pencil, and then for shading, we can do the charcoal.
Okay, go and get Q-tip.
Sorry? So let me just look, grab the picture we are going to draw today. So we're just drawing fruits, like in a still life. Perfect. So I'll show you the picture and then the final drawing. And then this exercise today is more than anything is for you to practice drawing big shapes and then also shadowing. So this is our first picture. Let me see if I can, just 1 second. So this is our first still life. We'll do lots of shapes, and the final drawing is something like this. We want to try to do lots of shadows and things like that. And you're free to change the picture as you will like. So if you want to draw more apples instead of the pineapple, that's fine too. And I'm gonna show you more examples of drawing still lifes. Just give me 2 seconds. And then we'll see how long this takes us. And if we're able to finish sooner than later, we might do a quick drawing at the end, another Christmassy drawing, but we'll see. So this is another still life from pencil. So the idea is that today you really look at the picture and see, where do I see the darkest areas? Because sometimes we think one side is dark, the other is light, and that's it. But we really need to look at the picture we're seeing. So let's get started. So start with your pencil. I like to start with the HB because it's easy to erase. And I don't think I'm gonna draw the pineapple. It's too big. I want to focus on the other fruits because I think the pineapple will take a long time. It's up to you if you want to draw it. So I'm gonna do the other fruits. So like always, whenever we start, let me just put this so we can see better here. As always, whenever we start, we draw the big shapes first. So let me try to get the picture right next to it so you can follow along. Switch this around.
你好，最下嗰個睇。
So the very first thing I like to do is draw, let me do it this way, the big shapes. So I am going to start with a very light sketch of the shapes I am seeing right now. So I imagine this is the line where the table is. This line right here. And I see one apple over here, very loose shapes. I see another one over here. And the apple is actually over the banana. And there are two bananas, so I draw the curved line like a moon. And again, these are very light shapes because I need to look at them after.
Savannah,
Yeah.
is this towards the half of the paper or the lower half of the paper?
So I'm gonna be, let me just mark it off. So this is my canvas.
Okay.
This is what I will be using. So just because I cannot fit the entire sheet on the screen if I want to show you the picture, I'm just gonna make a line of where I will limit my drawing.
Thank you.
So I will erase these lines later, but this is just to give you an idea. I'm not gonna draw past that. Because, well, it's up to you if you wanna draw the pineapple. I'm not going to do it just because it will take us too much time. I wanna do another drawing after. So basically in one end, I have these two apples and maybe a third one back here. And on the other one, I have a mango over here hiding behind the bananas. And I have another circle for an apple here. So that takes most of my my painting already.
Savannah, if we are not drawing the pineapple, there will be empty space between the banana and the apple.
Yes. Let me see if I want to add a few things.
Is this acrylic painting or just a pencil drawing?
Just pencil drawing.
Oh, okay.
Today we're not doing painting.
Okay.
So very loose shapes, loose circles. We're gonna fix them after. a mango here. And I think I want to make or draw an orange or maybe a pear where the pineapple was. Yeah, I think a pear would be good. And so a pear is usually like two circles, so it's thicker at the bottom. I'm not able to see the entire fruit just because the banana is covering it.
对了，看看这画的。
So I'm gonna give you 2 more minutes just to finish your big shapes. Don't worry too much about it. Just make sure your proportions look okay.
对了，我都画。
Don't worry too much about the detail. Just the main big shapes. We're gonna fix the details after.
Horse 啊，对。
I'm drawing with a little bit more pressure than I should just so the camera picks it up, but draw as light as possible. Perfect.
Sâu Yến à? Sâu Yến? Yến Trần,
係
你係咪秀英啊？
係啊，
你好似
陳少英。
冇畫畫嘅材料係嘛？
我冇，我自己啲啊，自己啲補嗰啲白色紙咧，我又學咯，因為我又冇買嗰啲顏色
唔緊要，
嘅。
我哋可以俾你畫畫嘅材料啊！我點樣同你通？你有收唔收到？
我咪要你個 WhatsApp 㗎。
哦，係啊，
我俾個
係啊，
WhatsApp 俾你嘛，
啱啊，
你唔記得㗎？
我
要俾個郵政信箱俾你撳啦。
啱，我俾個地址你可以去嗰個地址嗰度拎畫畫嘅材料啊。
哎呀，我而家又冇辦法去啫。
哦，你有仔女幫你去拎冇？
一陣完咗咧，你完咗你 A B 嘅地址喺 WhatsApp 嗰度俾我或者喺個有冇人近住嗰度咧就幫我攞咯。
你住邊度？
我住North East話喺會漢話。
North East 邊度啊？
會漢會曉會啊。
惠康嗰度啊？哦 ，OK，我喺 WhatsApp 我同你聯絡。
好，唔該晒，咩啫？Thank you。
So now I'm gonna take my eraser and go over my lines very gently. The lines I know I don't need. I will erase. Okay. And now I'm gonna fix my my shapes. Put a little bit more detail. So I'm gonna start with the pear. Just adding more defined lines, and you can even go over your drawing with a little bit more of that, or erase a little bit more so you can fix things. So the pear is usually like an 8, thinner on the top, and as it goes down, it gets whiter. And it usually has that little hole over here. So I'm just making like a C or a line there to indicate the line there. And from that little C I drew, I'm gonna bring the stem out. So that's my pear for now.
Ừ.
I'm gonna keep going so you can look at what I'm doing, and then you can catch up after. I'm just gonna finish this first, or this second step of making a little bit more details line, and then you can follow along. So next I wanna do the bananas. So there's one at the front, and the stem is over here. And once I finish this stem, it really comes out. It's nice and round here. And here there's like a dip here, and then it comes out, but not as much, just a little bit. Continues being quite straight. Until the end over here. That's where it comes down. So make sure this distance is almost the same as this distance the entire way. And the other banana at the back, we can only see the top and a little bit over here. But that hides under this apple. Now this apple here, I like to stir apples with this little C. So it gives me an idea. And the stem right here, which is a little bit thicker at the end and thinner where it starts. And start creating, is not a perfect circle.
Silvana,
Yeah,
don't the two apples have to kind of touch so this one doesn't look like it's sort of balancing on the tip of the banana?
yes, as there's just on the picture, there's one down
Oh,
behind
there's
this
another
one.
one. Okay, got it. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, there is one that is hiding at the back.
Okay.
And it's supposed to be under this one. Oh, you're right. Sorry. Yes, here they are supposed to be touching. This one over here. Made it too small. So this one, yeah, you're right. This one. So this one is touching. It's over the banana. The one at the back that we can barely see. And then this one. And then there's the one at the back. A little bit of that one. And then our mango, well, really it's just a oval shape. And the last apple over here. Just making lines under, so it's like a little bit of a indication there over a surface, over that table over there. So yeah, you were right. I think that was Veronica. Make sure your pieces are touching on the right spots to make sure it makes sense and they're not just floating around. Once we start creating the shadows, it'll make a little bit more sense. So for now, just finish this small or quick outline. For this step, you want to make sure you're happy with your proportions and the shape. We'll be adding the shadows next. So I will kind of circle the areas that are the darkest. That way you know which areas you need to do first. I like to do the darkest shadows first. So I will be kind of drawing a circle on those areas so you have a rough idea where the darkest shadows are. And for the shadows, if you have charcoal, you can use that. Remember, with charcoal, I like to draw on a separate piece of paper, just kind of shade that area and then get a Q-tip or a brush and just transfer that to the painting and just start kind of adding the shadow like that. If you have charcoal, it's a lot faster than with pencil, but with pencil it's a different finish and both are nice. It's just whatever you prefer. I am going to do a few with pencil and a few with charcoal so I can show you. I'll give you one more minute and I'm gonna start putting a circle around the area that is the darkest so you can have, or you can see where you need to put the darkest shadows. After this, we are not really going to change too much the shapes. We can, but try to make sure you're happy with the shapes and the proportions. Perfect. So I'm gonna start with this one. You can wait until I am done quite a few just so you get an idea. So you don't need to draw these little lines. This is just for you to know where it is going to be the darkest. So this area is very dark and there's a shadow around this. This one, there's a shadow over here, very dark shadow. And also this area over here. So I'm gonna start completing those two. I will do it with pencil and then maybe this one I will do with charcoal. With pencil, if you only have one, this works. Just put you can do different layers or a little bit more pressure. Or if you have multiple pencils, you can switch to a 2B or 3B. And I'm gonna start here. So wherever, like the edge on this particular one is very dark. And it goes all the way here. That's where it touches the table. As I start going closer to the center, it's not as dark anymore. So I slowly put less and less pressure. And then over here, there is a little bit of a highlight in the middle over here. And then it starts getting dark again here. So I know now that this is my darkest areas. So let's call this number 1, like shade number 1, very, very dark. Now we're gonna start doing shade number 2, which is lighter than number 1. So I'm putting less pressure. I think I'm back to number 1 here, just a little bit darker. And around the stem is very dark. It's like an oval shape here. And now I'm going to number 3. So number 3 is even lighter. Here at the top, it gets darker again. I'm gonna finish this one so you can see what you want to do, but take your time. And then once you're somewhat happy with your darkest area, you can grab a Q-tip or a piece of paper towel and very gently blend it. I start on the darkest areas and I only blend the darkest areas. Then with another side, cleaner side, I start on the medium areas and I only touch the medium areas. So the idea is that you don't want to bring all the particles or the darkest graphite to the lighter areas. And then with an eraser, you gently touch the areas where it's supposed to be lightest. There's a big highlight right here. You can use a Q-tip, a piece of paper towel, or a dry brush. Make sure this is not the brush you use for painting because you'll get it very dirty. I hope that makes sense. It's just a matter of going back and forth until you're happy with your shadows. I'm gonna do the next one with charcoal, just in case you have charcoal. The stem is actually very dark. And usually at the end, you always have to go back to the darkest areas because the picture just keeps getting darker and darker. Sometimes I like to squint my eyes so I see a little bit blurry. That way I can really notice which blocks are dark. So if I squint my eyes and I see a little bit blurry, I can really see this is very dark and this is light. Don't forget your highlight. So take your eraser and make a tiny circle. Make sure there's no pencil there. I'm gonna do the next one with charcoal. You take your time finishing yours. Just remember, it's just a matter of going back and forth, erase, and then draw again, and then erase and blend. The more you work on it, the better it'll look. So I'm gonna take this. So because my canvas ends here, later I'll cut it out. I'm gonna use this space to show you how to use the charcoal. So I like to use the soft one first, and I just color an area. And then with a brush or a Q-tip, I like brush better, but either or work. I just grab it. Grab that dust, and I go to my drawing, but I start on the darkest shadows. And any time I grab more charcoal, I always start again on the darkest, because sometimes it's hard to measure or to know exactly how dark it is going to be. So you don't want to put a lot of darkness on a light area. So I grab more, start on the darkest area, and as I remove the excess, I keep going towards the center. With charcoal and with pencil too, you want to make sure you don't touch the paper with your hands too much, because if there's any kind of oils on your skin, once you touch it, let's say I touch here, then I put charcoal and I remember I want to make it lighter. Once you erase it, it's not going to erase completely. So you want to avoid touching with your fingers. That's why I like to use paper towel. So I just keep grabbing charcoal. On the very dark areas, you can even go directly, like we're here. And this little line over here. And then with the eraser, I make the highlights. It's like drawing with your eraser. So the very pure highlight, that's where it's completely erased. And then as I move out of the highlight, I put less pressure on the eraser. So it's not completely removing my graphite there or my charcoal. Sometimes I even just do this. Get a more even highlight. And again, we go back and forth with our charcoal or pencil. Actually going to add more highlights over here. So with charcoal it's a little bit faster, but it looks different. It's just a matter of preference, really. With pencil, you are able to put a lot more detail. I'll let you catch up and then we'll continue with, I think I'll do both, some in charcoal and some with pencil so you can see both. The key is going back with your eraser to make more. Make sure you can see at least 3 different shades or tones on your. So I have one is very dark here, one is medium, here is even lighter, so 3, and then my whitest parts 4. If it's all too similar, you're not gonna get that effect. Sometimes with charcoal and pencil too, but especially with charcoal, the rest of the painting can get messy. So it's important to go back with your eraser sometimes to erase over here, because sometimes you have dust there and then you draw over here, you put your hand and then it's really hard to erase. So I'll let you catch up. I'm just gonna bring a glass of water. I'll be right back. Oops, sorry. I'll be right back. Perfect, so let's continue. Let's do this one over here. I'm gonna do it with pencil, but do whatever works for you. So here at the back is very dark, very, very dark because it's in complete shadow. So notice that I leave a little bit of space between this shadow at the back and this just to give it a little bit of a highlight there. Here my highlight is closer to the little stem. So back and forth, back and forth. If you're not happy with your apples, think, are my shadows dark enough or my highlights light enough? Do I need to erase some areas or do I need to add more shadows? So this, for this one at the back, that is the C, the stem starts here. My highlight is just underneath that stem, if you notice that. So my highlight is over here. My darkest darks are here. And here, it's a little bit dark around. And I wanna go back to this one. Usually, so I wanna make sure I can show which ones are dark. So I have my darkest shadow at the bottom, then it gets dark here. If you're using charcoal, you just add more and more layers. So in between this area and this line, so right here, I want to go with my eraser because I want to add a little reflection. Usually when there are other objects, they reflect the light. So you see a little bit of a reflect or a highlight at the bottom there. So really take your time. I think the key to improve your skills is practice and observation. It doesn't matter how good you are with your hands if you don't observe what you're drawing. So that's our third apple. And I think it's even wider here. This one goes here. And now in between this apple and this one, I want to make a highlight so they are not fusing together. That makes sense. Now I'm going to go ahead with my pear. So for the pear, I'm going to do it with charcoal. So I'm guessing the shadows will be closer to the bottom. I think that's my pear. Don't forget the highlights. One thing to keep in mind is there's always only one place where the light is coming from. So you always have to remember my light is coming from here, especially if you're not looking at a picture. Like for this pear, I don't have a picture of the pear. I have to kind of imagine where the lights are. So if all these apples have the highlight over here, I need to make the highlight also over there. So it makes sense. Gonna do the mango. The mango is very dark. Very, very dark. So you can even go, I'm gonna do it with pencil. You can go a few, if you have different pencils, you can go to a 5B or higher. If not, just use the same one, but more pressure. So this whole area will be dark. It's dark over here, and the shadow of the banana. So there's only a little bit of highlight right there. It looks like my paper is cracked over here. Okay, now I'm going to do the left apple. I'll do it with charcoal. That's my charcoal. So for charcoal, there's either soft, medium, or hard. The softer one gives you more dust. That's why I use it for this. So this apple has the shadows over here, very dark shadow from the banana. And also over here. I'm taking my brush, but you can take your Q-tip or paper towel and just do a little bit of shadows at the bottom here to give it a little bit more depth. You can also use your pencil very, very lightly. Anytime you do an object, look how dark it is and start with the darkest darks. Then go back with your eraser and indicate where the highlights are. And then you go back with your Q-tip or paper towel and blend a little bit more. And then you repeat the process. So go back again to draw the darkest areas. If you're doing charcoal, some areas where it's you need a lot of detail, you can just go directly with the charcoal. Or if the shadows are very, very dark, like here, and again. So I think I've done this. This is my third round on this apple. Just dark, blend, highlights, blend, and then again hot darks again. And you will see that it starts taking shape. For this last apple here, notice that I have my highlight here, but just a tiny highlight on the left side. Indicate that's where it ends. And I'm gonna add more shadow here. Actually, with pencil. Almost done. We just have the bananas left. I'll give you 2 minutes to catch up. I'm going to start with the bananas now. You take your time. You can wait until I'm done with them so you can see where the shadows are, or you can go along with me. I'm going to do it with pencil because I think most of you have pencils. So with pencil, make sure the tip of your pencil is always very pointy. Makes it a lot easier. So I start with my darkest areas, but I go very light because these shadows are not as dark. The banana is looking a little bit lighter. I'm actually going to clean it first because I have a little bit of dust from my charcoal. And I'm gonna go hatching or cross hatching or shading this border. I think we are not going to have time to do the other quick drawing, but that's okay. Maybe we can do it at the start of the class next week, or we can actually paint it instead. So I have my shadow down there and I blend it. at the top. This one comes down a little bit here in the middle and goes back to the edge here at the top. For the banana, the darkest darks are not as dark as my other fruits. Keep it light. And do more blending with the brush more than anything else. So here I'm using an even lighter shade for my second row. So you see this is dark, this is lighter. Now for the second banana, I clean it up before I start. So this edge is nice and clean because my shadow or my darkest tones are from the first banana, not the second one. The second one is actually light over there. And it gets darker here at the top. So I shade this part, I fill it in. And with the brush, very gently, don't, make sure you don't make it too dark. And my bananas are, so the highlights are right in the center over here. And same for the second one. So at the top is curved, and as I go down, it's thinner. Same thing, we go back and forth. We draw with pencil, we blend, then we erase on our highlights. Then we blend again, and we start over. Pencil, blend, highlights, blend, pencil, blend. And just look at your overall picture. I am going to make a line over here suggesting where the table ends, which is, I think it was over here, but it doesn't really matter. Now you have, we're almost done. I'm gonna go with my brush and make a little bit of shadows. You can do this with pencil too. Just underneath these areas over here, they tend to be darker. This last apple has a shadow going to your left. Because the light is hitting this way, so the shadow is the back here. Same for the mango. So if you have time this week or in the next couple of weeks, this is a very good exercise. You don't have to spend so much time, but just grab like a bowl of fruits or even flowers. You can make your own still life arrangement and just try to draw it. And the last, actually, let me just blend this. So I use pencil and then now I'm blending. You don't have to completely finish the entire table. It's not needed. I think the focus of the painting is the fruit. But what I do want to go over a little bit is the background or the wall, I mean. So I'm just gonna shade here, left to right, fill it in, very gentle. Doesn't have to be all of it, doesn't have to be perfect. It's just so we get a little bit. If you have charcoal, use the charcoal, it's a lot faster. But it just gives me that idea that there's a wall there. And I'm gonna go with my Q-tip and I'm just gonna start blending. Start at the bottom because that's where it's darkest. Very light on your background. I think the best way to do the background is just with paper towel, a piece of paper towel. And then that's the way to blend. So I'm gonna grab a little bit of paper towel. This way I can put more pressure. and things blend a little bit more. The back, you don't need to do it, or if you just put a little bit of color with whatever you have or whatever you can grab on your paper towel, that's fine. For example, if I have a darkest area right here, I do that first. Whatever I picked up, I just go over here and use that. And now look at your picture and where things need to be darker or get lighter, and then we'll sign it after we do that. Just gonna add a little bit of charcoal with my brush to the areas I feel are darker. If you do the background, you don't have to do it, but if you quickly do it, make sure on the fruit we'll do a little bit of highlights just to really show where my fruit ends. So probably over here. So just the edge that is against the wall, a little bit of a highlight there. And blend a little bit again. Make a clear line where my painting ends. Now cut it off later. And I could spend hours just going back and forth, but just gonna leave it like that. So once you're done, sign it. And then you're done. Oh, that's very nice, Patina. That looks really, really nice. I love your highlights.
Like you say, we can go on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
Slowly.
Wow, Kathy, that looks really good.
Oh my
Elaine,
goodness, look at that.
that looks very nice. Lucy, that looks very nice too. Wow, I
Oh,
love your
Lucy.
shadows.
Wow, Lang Lucy.
Bobby.
Wow, Winnie. Dang.
Wow, Bobby, that looks very nice.
Wow.
Angela, oh my God,
哇，风景
thank
你画
you.
的很好啊。
Yeah.
Wow, that's very nice. Is that Lily?
Yes.
Wow,
Oh, wow.
really? Yeah,
Still
very
home.
nice.
Very good.
Very good,
I-
wow. Very good.
好靚啊，Bobby 畫得好靚啊。
Very good. Thank you for your teaching.
Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. I'm very proud of everyone's drawings. They look very, very realistic. I hope you enjoyed and you learned a lot. It's always good to practice
The
shadows.
bananas were great to learn how to do the bananas.
Samo,
And
oh,
if you like this painting, you can even do it again, but with paint.
was-
It's gonna be it will be a really nice painting too with color. So next class is our last class of the year, and if you have something in mind that we haven't done, just tell me. We can try that next class. We'll do painting. And make sure you send us your pictures of this still life.
Thanks, Silvana.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you,
Thank you so
everyone.
much.
Thank
I
you.
hope you enjoyed this class, and you should be very proud of your work. They look all very, very good.
They do. They
Thank
do.
you.
They do very good.
Really nice. Thank you. teacher.
陳秀英啊，
係
你嗰個微信係唔係8180887嗰個啊？
係啊係啊係啊。
我 send 咗個 message 俾你啦。
我都滿意啊。
Thank you。俾我睇下。
英叔，
係。
你有畫的材料哈？
对呀，就是上一次刚开学的时候领的呀。
哦，你買那個 OK， 你拿那個 OK， 好 OK。
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Send
Bye.
me picture.
阿妹，我係咪每一次要 send 個 picture 俾你啊？
你好似冇喎，你連嗰個雀仔都冇 send 俾我喎。
我一陣間 send 晒俾你啊。OK。
係啊係啊。
Thank you。
Miss 姐啊。
係。
呢個係teacher house 啊。
你係邊個啊？
唔係陳少英啦，你講我啱啱 send 嚟，俾我話攞嗰個嗰啲painting嗰啲嘢啊嘛，係咪？
係啦。
係咪去嗰個 teacher house 嗰度啊
？Nolan Hill 嗰度，你要同我講你幾時可以去？咁我叫老師擺喺門口嗰度俾你。咁
我要叫個兒生仔喺咪近唔近佢嗰度啊 ？Nolan Hill 喺邊度我都唔知道。
你問你
好
兒生仔
遠㗎。好遠㗎，好遠嘅。
唔知佢要冇會幫我攞呢咁遠，我 send 個地址俾佢，而家佢幾時去咧，我就同你聯絡咯，好嘛咩啫？
好啊，你知道就知同我講啊。
Thank you。
阿 May 啊，我係Lynn啊，想問你嗱，我好 enjoy 呢個 class， 咁我哋完咗呢個 term 咧，咁出年再開始嘅時候咧。我哋嗰本呢本咧就差不多畫晒噶啦。我哋可唔可以睇下邊個可以同我哋買多一本呢啲啊
？I think 我哋仲有材料，我哋可以派多一次啊。
OK。
1月開學嗰陣時，我通知你哋再去拎多一套咯。
OK，thank you。
阿妹，我想問咧，我今日我唔知係畫呢啲。鉛筆畫我咧就以為畫嗰啲acrylic， 咁我又唔記得買喎，咁我又買唔到嗰啲紙，咁我咧就有一幅係舊嘅，我想問個先生可唔可以我油咗白色咁樣畫 on top 得唔得㗎？
阿丁冇咁好嘅，先生好似走咗啦，睇下。
先生走咗啦。
Sorry， Miss 姐啊，我係陳少英。
Yeah。
Oh。Angela， 你問佢啦。
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know that you're not doing the acrylic today. I thought you doing acrylic today, and I forgot to buy the canvas. So I used the old one to use the white color to paint on the top. Would I be okay to put on top for another one?
Sometimes you mean yes, so sometimes that works, but maybe you should try a little bit, because did you paint over with white already?
I got a picture before, but then because I forgot to buy the canvas, I couldn't buy the paper that you people provided to the other people. I go everywhere, I couldn't find it in Ontario, so then every time I have to buy the canvas to paint it, and then I thought that you're doing acrylic, so I hurry to just cover it on top to use the white one in order to dry.
Yes. So did you try that today, or is that for next class?
Well, then next class I will have time to go out and buy it. It's just all of a sudden today I said, oh, I don't have any, so I just use
Angela, today is not acrylic, today is pencil.
I know,
so what you talk about acrylic?
I know, that's why I was saying now I already paint it and cover it. That's why I want to ask whether it's okay still use
it next week.
Yeah, I think you should be fine. You might want to test it in the beginning to see if the paint actually sticks to it.
Okay.
It's probably okay, I think.
Okay. But where you can find those paper that you provide for them? You said dollar shop?
I got them at the dollar store.
Yeah, I go to every single dollar shop in Ontario. They don't have discount. So
Oh,
Michael,
sometimes
Michael.
Michael's.
besides that, what other paper that I can use besides canvas?
You can use. Let me show you here. So you can use mixed paper. So it will be this one. This one I know you can get it at Michael's for sure.
I got that. I got that. That's
So you
for watercolor, I thought.
Yeah, so you can use it for
Called
acrylics.
mixed media.
Yeah, it usually it says here at the bottom acrylic, watercolor, or pen and pencil.
Okay,
So you can
maybe
get
it's different. Yeah.
Yeah, so mixed media acrylic.
Okay.
Mấy cha.
係。
我想問人哋先生個 house 嘅 number 同埋電話幾多啊？
我會 send 俾你。我會 send 俾
OK。
你。
唔該唔該。Yeah，thank you，thank you。我乜嘢都冇㗎，所以我淨係今日要啲鉛筆畫。
我要知道你幾時去，我先至俾你地址。
Okay, so this one is no good, right? Because this one is just saying watercolor.
Yes, so usually the watercolor, the surface is rough, so it might not work.
So I need to buy the mixed media. Yeah.
Yes, you can get the smaller notebooks. I think there are different sizes. You don't need the bigger one, but yeah, mixed media is best for acrylic.
I see. Okay. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. See you next week. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Giovanna.
Thank you, May. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.